Donk Nation, Jackson, Janet's greetings, and welcome to the Dead Dose Donkey with Ginger. It's your boy, the Viking Donkey, bringing you some Steelers talk. This is week 14. This is coming off a huge win at Cincinnati. And Gingy, might I say, the type of explosion the Steelers haven't done since pre-COVID, Gingy. My goodness, was that a fun game.
Gingy in the house. Oh my gosh, it was an explosion. 40.
That's like
40.
That's like a month.
And
that's a month.
Offense, yeah, for serious. I mean, we're talking passing yard totals that would have rivaled 2 or 3 games in years past.
Yeah. Dude, that's like passing yard totals from our first 3 games this year.
Not wrong. But amazing. We were clicking on offense, right? But how do we get into a shootout with the Bengals, right? That before the game, Donkey. That's kind of what we were talking about that we were trying to avoid. That's kind of the pace that I think they wanted to play.
We beat them also exactly what we predicted. Yeah, but to be fair to the Bengals, I'm not sure they want to play that style, Gingy. I watched that defense. I think they kind of have to, especially Wilson, their middle linebacker, didn't play last week. And him and Trey Hendrickson might be the only 2 NFL caliber starters on that defense. I mean, dude, I don't know what to say. A team that has now had 4 losses this year where they scored 30 points. That's unheard of. That defense historically bad, and the Pittsburgh Steelers doing what you're supposed to do against a team with a historically bad unit. Oh my gosh, that was actually fun to watch, I do say. Very fun to watch.
Yeah, I didn't like seeing 38 get put up on the other side of the board, but
problems. We'll get to that, but don't rain on my happy parade. I mean, even the refs were on our side, dude. George Pickens gets a first taunting, which was his first penalty towards disqualification. Gets a second taunting, but the refs decide we're not going to disqualify him. I mean, when things are going your way, things are going your way. And when it's Cincinnati, it rains, it frickin' pours. Sorry, that's what you get. Suck it. Thank goodness George Pickens got to stay in the game.
Any chance, Donkey, that the refs felt a little bad about him getting his head pulled off and a pick 6 happening?
Okay. First thing I'm going to say on this is, as a Steelers fan, what happened there is not a penalty. He's within 5 yards. He didn't grasp the opening. He didn't use the face mask.
It's a penalty.
No, he hit him in the side. He starts leaning. He puts a hand on the back of the helmet. As a Steelers fan, as a football fan, man, you ain't gonna get me to say that's a penalty. I'm sorry. I say this to my son every time he cheers when we get a tic-tac pass interference at the start of the game, and I go, dude, you don't understand. That's bad for us because our corners are more handsy than theirs. And if you don't believe that, there's a reason Joey Porter Jr. is tied for the league in penalties with a rookie in Detroit named Arnold, who doesn't really belong starting right now. That kind of play is the play I want to see let go, Gingy. That kind of play is the one I don't think should be a penalty because both guys went to grab each other. The Cincy guy got the better of the 5-yard push. It's within 5 yards. He didn't hit him in the face. He didn't grab the face mask. Let it go. That's all I have to say. Let it go.
Yeah, we ain't gonna write the league about it or anything, but I do think that there was Donkey. I mean, you can't say there was no contact. I'm not saying
within 5 yards you're allowed to.
Within 5 yards, but illegal hands to the face. I think there was too much in the face mask region pulling on that helmet.
Again, ticky-tack. The hand was on the back. The way you would get me here is if he actually grabbed the back of the helmet, you know where the opening is. His hand just got placed there and kind of was like, yeah, go to the ground, scrub. And, well, that's what happened. You're George Pickens. I'm going to be honest. You want to be a number 1 wide receiver, Gingy?
You fight through that.
You can't let that guy jam you like that. You can't let that guy jam you like that.
That's absolutely right. You got to fight through that. I agree with that one.
But we finally got a first drive touchdown, Gingy. It just went the wrong way.
Another more slow starts, Donkey. That's going to be the downfall of this team at some point.
I can't even say a slow start because we scored at will after the fact, and our first drive was stopped by soft play, which is becoming synonymous with the Pittsburgh Steelers. S-O-F-T, soft, soft, soft. But in modern day football, that's not necessarily doom, right? Because when I say soft, 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 Gingy, you put on the tape of that defense, and man, that's the type of soft that melts in 2 seconds if you're getting ice cream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't like to see that. I like to see more power up front. And Donkey, this is a recurring thing anyway. You singled out an individual player for penalties. Joey Porter. I mean, collectively, the team is getting too many. Another week we're penalized over 100 yards total. I think it was 9 total penalties.
Joey Porter had 2 on the same play, and both of them were properly called. That's what's crazy about the way he's playing. And I'll tell you how bad things have got with Joey Porter. Last year, he was the guy they relied on to cover one-on-one teams' good receivers. Last week, they refused to let him cover at all Jamar Chase. That tells you how far, in my opinion, he has slid. Because if they still had faith in him, he would be getting that one-on-one matchup. Their reasoning was, we wanted to make sure we could double Chase. Dude, you were still doubling T. Higgins the whole damn game because Joey Porter Jr. couldn't one-on-one. So that excuse does not cut it. The fact is they're seeing Joey Porter Jr. is their number 2 corner. And I can't blame him, man. I mean, I know Donta Jackson's gotten beat a bunch this year, but the dude also has 5 interceptions? That dude's our best cornerback right now. That dude is a playmaker. He got another interception this week.
Of course, he's competing for league lead, I believe.
He is up there. And what's crazy, though, Gingy, if you watch every one of his interceptions, I think there's one. He doesn't ever make a good play on the ball. 3 of them were overthrown passes and 2 of them are tipped footballs, but I'm going to tell you something. There is an art to being in the right place at the right time. Absolutely. And this year, that dude has it.
That's what I was just going to say, right? Nothing wrong with being in position, Donkey. Nothing wrong with that.
Also, is the young Padawan getting better at the strip sack than the Jedi? I mean, both from Wisconsin. Baby Herbig, dude. Every time he's at the quarterback, the damn ball's loose. And then TJ Watt's like, hold on, young stuff. I got you too. Those 2 dudes on the edge, man. You're a quarterback. You go slide up in the pocket. You better put 2 hands on that ball.
That's what I'm saying this week. I don't know if you can talk Padawan and Master. They're on the same level, knocking that ball out. I loved it, Donkey.
No, same level. Baby Herbig's went for a touchdown. Just putting it out there, dude. Right into Peyton Wilson, waiting for it to make his little hot trot down the field. I mean, Gingy, I don't even know how to feel about this defense because they finally did what we wanted, right? 4 sacks, 3 turnovers, a touchdown, but they give up 31 points. Let's be honest, 31 points, but still. That's just too frickin' many, right?
I don't even know how that happened.
Well, you see, we have a secondary full of guys where the best thing we can say is Donta Jackson. Deshaun Elliott's come back to the real world and has 3 straight bad games. Minkah Fitzpatrick is the most overpaid player in football. And I'm going to say that every week because this dude takes bad angles in the run game. It's non-existent in the passing game. He started a play 25 yards off the line of scrimmage, Gingy, and Cincinnati threw it down the middle for a touchdown over his head. How do you start 25 yards off the ball and still get beat over the top? How?
That's a good question. Shouldn't happen.
And it wasn't anything crazy. He just bit on a route to the left when the route to the right was the one coming over the top. He's playing rookie-level stuff. And then our big answer is, hey, you know the other playmaker in the secondary we've had recently? Beanie Bishop, right? He's had 3 interceptions in the past 4 games. Well, we're not going to play him anymore because our boy, man, the woman beater himself, Cam Sutton's back, and I'll tell you right now, he certainly didn't look like he could hit any men on that field. That was embarrassing what was put on out there by the secondary, Gingy.
Yeah, the Cincinnati is good in the pass game. I mean, they've got Chase, Higgins, tough to handle.
I hear you. They ran the ball where their running backs were averaging 6 yards a carry as well, so you can't stop them anywhere. Turnovers helped us. That was
again,
it.
bend but don't break, right? Because I saw some big plays for some guys. I saw Cam Hayward just absolutely nail someone in the backfield. Boy, I was hooting and hollering for
They
that.
scored a
right?
touchdown on that drive.
Yeah, I understand, Donkey, but these big plays.
You can't tell me bend don't break when all they did was break, Gingy.
Well, you know,
it was bend and pray for a turnover. Bend and pray for a turnover.
I mean, usually I'm pretty, moderate with you, but a break's an L. That's not what happened. There was no L's there.
I can't agree. I can't agree with you there because you're going to tell me we need this offense to score 40 points a week to win.
Well, of course not.
That defense,
they stepped up.
That defense freaking collapsed, Gingy, and the offense carried that team to a victory. That's what happened. It's that simple. Did the defense make a couple plays? Yeah, but dude, 31 points. You're never ever going to hear me say that team didn't break. I mean, we make fun of teams that let us score.
It wasn't what they asked for, right? But they did enough to win. Again, there was the splash plays that really contributed to the overall win.
Did they do enough to win, or did the offense do enough to win?
It's a team game, Donkey.
Well, then we have to go back to last year, and we can't make fun of the offense anytime they won. You see, and I know you have. We can't have a double standard here because you want to defend the defense. And that's what I'm getting at here is the defense sucked. We can say they sucked. They're allowed to suck. They don't have to be perfect. But what they did is they broke. They sucked. They leaked. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't denying. It wasn't even slowing down. Like, self-inflicted wounds is what killed Cincinnati.
I find it difficult to hear about a unit sucking when I see T.J. Watt, 3 tackles, 2 sacks, forced fumble lost. I mean, we got the turnovers. Donta Jackson almost leading the league in interceptions, right? I know it's not consistent defense. It's not good defense, but it is defense that is getting them by in these games.
Gingy, and I'm going to take the pick 6 off the board, okay? I'm going to take the pick 6 off the board, right? Okay. Based on what happened last week, the Steelers would be the 23rd ranked run defense, the 32nd ranked pass defense, and the 32nd scoring defense. That's what you're going to defend? And
not
that's
good
taking
enough.
away the pick 6. Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's not try to act like that performance was good. It wasn't.
Again, I mean, we're just doing the opposite of before, Donkey. You're talking about raining on parades during dubs. I hear there are cracks in the defense, and we're going to have to. Well, I don't know if we're going to be. We're going to have to see whether we can hold up to a Jameis Winston fourth quarter this week, eh?
Hey, Jameis likes to throw the ball to as if you watched Cleveland's game last week, where Jameis Winston set the Cleveland Brown franchise record for passing yards in a game since they became the new Browns, right? He turned the ball over a hell of a lot and lost in the game by turning the ball over. So we very much could run into a Cincinnati problem, right? Yeah. Honestly, that's been his whole career, and that's why I've always been kind of intrigued by him. Is he is the guy who will throw for 450 yards, 5 touchdowns, and somehow lose the damn game, right? That is just who Jameis Winston is. That dude has I'm gonna put it this way. I have never seen a quarterback with a greater gunslinger mentality than him. Brett Favre is the closest thing I've ever seen to it, but Jameis Winston, man, he's another level.
I agree. We'll get to that, though, for sure. We're going to finish on this Bengals experience.
Without doubt. But, I mean, you look at this, and also put it into perspective this way. The Bengals have a good offense. I'm not going to argue with you there. But they were above their season average in almost every offensive category this week. Outside of turnovers, which is something crazy. And they had some makeshift parts going on in there. They had their left tackle as his first game back in almost 3 months, and you could tell he was a little slow. I mean, Baby Herbig was, to be fair, Orlando Browns always struggled with faster guys. Little Herbig was always right by him, right? But, man, how many times did you see Patrick Queen 4 or 5 yards behind a tight end or a running back? How many times did you see Joey Porter getting beat to where he has to grab, and then he cries after the game that the refs are going after me unfair because of the way I play? Dude, it's because you're too handsy, and I've said that since you've been drafted, because that was the biggest problem with you is, sure, you have the athleticism, but you never keep your hands off people. And when refs call games tight, which, by the way, this referee crew that we have this week calls the game really tight, man, it's just that stuff eats you up. When you see a high-paid guy like Minka Fitzpatrick never taking the right angles, it's just, man, this defense kills me. But, Gingy, what I want to talk about is the passing offense that got multiple people involved. I mean, we had 400 yards passing and no receiver eclipsed 90 yards. Pickens had a good game with his touchdown. Muth had a good game with a touchdown. Van Jefferson caught a 42-yard pass that probably should have been a touchdown, but the dude's running in all sorts of weird routes. Calvin Austin trying to continue as a breakout star. He took a couple walloping hits. Hopefully he'll be able to be cleared of everything and play this week. I know he's a full participant in practice yesterday or today. I don't remember which. You saw Jalen Warren and Najee Harris both getting involved. And that, man, that's what you want to see. I hope the dang Browns played defense like the Bengals, because I don't know if you watched it, but, man, I felt like we were playing the Steelers' fourth quarter up 10 defense the whole game. The Bengals, every time they played zone, dropped everyone 12 yards deep and said, if you want to throw a check down, it's 8 yards on first down, man. That's what kills me as a Steeler fan when it happens to me. But watching it happen to someone else, Gingy, me and my little boy Bugaboo were excited, high-fiving, waving towels, yelling, baby, because it was ecstatic football the way the offense played.
Absolutely. Russell Wilson, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. Oh my gosh. It was action-packed all game. I really am glad to see Pickens keep his head on his shoulders. He had a real opportunity after that pick six, regardless of what the call was, to really crumble. And in fact, prior to this in this season, he has done some crumbling in those moments. And to see him come back and catch a touchdown pass
after that.
Yeah, but that's almost typical of this guy. I understand. He needs reining a little bit.
You imagine him getting 2 taunting penalties and getting kicked out in the first quarter of a playoff game?
Still looking at him catching a touch, though, making great contributions to help secure
let's
the win.
Talk about that touchdown. Have you ever seen a team either A, worse at tackling, or B, take worse angles than the Bengals on that touchdown pass? I mean, my God. Yeah. I know George Pickens is kind of fast, but bro, they bad. I want to play them again. I can't wait.
Yeah, we do. We do.
I know, dude. It's going to be offense for days.
Absolutely.
End of the season in a game that might matter. Who knows?
Probably will matter in terms of seeding.
Yeah, that all really depends on the next 3 games after the last of the tune-ups. But, Gingy, again, Boswell misses a field goal. Waitman, only a 38-yard punt, but it was inside the 20. Special teams were kind of a moment in this game, ironically.
Yeah, really, we're almost used to seeing some sort of splash from them on a week-to-week basis, but pretty average.
Anything else you want to say about the closing arguments of a game where the Pittsburgh Steelers win a shootout because their offense is, dare I say, good?
Really love to see the distribution. It really wasn't letting one guy blowing the top off. And one thing haven't touched on, but we pretty much touch on from week to week, is Najee Harris and yards per carry. Here's
over
again,
3.5, baby. Money.
Here's again talking about 4.7 yards a carry in an offense that scores more than 40 points, lending itself to the argument that the whole Steelers offense runs around Najee Harris.
I think the argument could just be every offense runs around the Cincinnati Bengals, and it's
That's
fun
possible
to watch.
Too. That's possible too. Yeah,
it is fun to watch. I mean, I don't know if you watched the Baltimore game where Baltimore scored 28 points in the fourth quarter on them, but it was very much the same thing. This team just goes, and because they're so scared, and I don't understand this at all, when defenses are so scared that you're going to beat them over the top because they lack talent, that they play back in these 10-yard drop zones and just let you slowly move the ball down the field without any challenge, right? And then pray to God when you get inside the 10, they're going to stop you. I don't understand it, man. If you have a crappy defense, and any team out there who's listening, when you have a crappy defense, you know what you do? You do what Detroit does, man. You blitz the hell out of him and hope to God to get 3 stops a game. That's what you should do.
Only other thing showing up on my radar for this week, Donkey. Another ice the game Justin Fields package. What are you thinking of all this?
At
least it didn't slide too early this time.
I will say this. When you see Justin Fields on the frickin' field, right? And this just to goes bad game planning with Cincinnati with me, right? Did you see the way he threw the ball the week prior? Those balls weren't anywhere near the wide receivers. You put every damn player in the box. You have a double spy on Justin Fields, and you play man-to-man coverage and say, if you're going to throw the ball, good frickin' luck. But to be fair, if you watch that, the rookie cornerback, if he just holds contain, man, Justin Fields is a dead duck. The rookie cornerback bites inside on the handoff where he wouldn't have been able to help at all, and Justin Fields gets the outside because, man, whoever that rookie was, I don't remember his name, had one of the worst football games I have ever seen had by an NFL player.
Who's that you're talking about now?
The rookie corner for Cincinnati who let it all happen by biting inside on a fake handoff for the Fields run.
Gotcha. No, yeah, but I don't know, Donkey. I like the package. I mean, it's successful. So
if it works, you just keep using it. Now, to be fair, it's failed on 4th down twice, I believe, this year. Once when Fields was the actual quarterback, and once the week prior. Was it? A week or 2 prior.
Failed, quote unquote, because he slid 3 yards early.
Not the ice the down one where we ended up winning the game on the next play. It was in the first half, either second quarter or third quarter, 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1. I believe it was 4th and 1, and we turned the ball over because Fields couldn't get the yard after Russell Wilson had a failed quarterback sneak on 3rd and 1. So it was 4th and 1. So it has failed.
I don't know. I think here's what I think about. Anytime that the Steelers produce confusion on offense, anything that's not super predictable, I'm going to support until seen otherwise.
I hear you. And don't forget,
I think that those packages are relatively surprising.
That's the same package that failed on 3rd and 1 in the Cleveland game because Justin Fields decided to try to throw a 40-yard deep ball when he hadn't thrown a ball all day and is out there in the frickin' snow. Just putting that out there. So it has failed. It has failed in a loss that was really costly. So it's nice when it works, though, right? It is nice when it works.
I agree.
But it also looks terrible when it fails. And just most things the Steelers do, it's kind of, I would say it's a little predictable, although Fields checking to the 40-yard pass that didn't work wasn't predictable, but it also wasn't successful. Every other time Fields is running the ball. It's kind of like now when you see Skowronek on the field, you should just make sure you have 2 people on that side because we're running the damn football that way. I mean, come on now.
Yeah,
people need to learn.
See that. I mean, yeah, we're starting to get more predictable with guys like that, but hey, it's worked so far. I don't know if it'll work all season though. Like you said,
it works against the Bengals.
You have to evolve as the season goes on because these coordinators get tape, and if they get 3 or 4 weeks of tape on the same stuff, you got to
hit it out the back door. You got to fake that wide receiver screen and have Skowronek go down the field. That's what it is.
Exactly.
Though. Till we see the Steelers do that, I have little faith in it. But yeah, if they do that this week, that's exactly what you're going to see. I mean, we're going against another defense that really, all in all, has struggled. But we'll see what happens. You ready to get into this? Actually, there's one topic on the NFL I want to get into before we get to the Browns, right? Okay. Al Shazier, linebacker for the Texans. You see the hit he had on Trevor Lawrence?
I did.
I have an honest question. Do you think a 3-game suspension for that is fair?
Yeah. What the heck is fair, Donkey?
Okay,
right?
That's going to say no. I agree with you. I don't think it's fair, and here's my reason. Al Shazier runs that way and pulls up early. You have the Josh Allen touchdown happen. You have the Kenny Pickett touchdown happen. If you're going to suspend an NFL linebacker for hitting a quarterback who's sliding, You need to start suspending NFL quarterbacks when they fake a slide.
Never
you need
gonna
to start
happen.
suspending NFL quarterbacks when they don't run out of bounds on the sideline. Or option 2, you let the damn NFL quarterback be an NFL player.
Never gonna happen. Those days are done.
I hear that. Then this is what I'll say. We do have a third option, Gingy. And I'm saying it's become an Olympic sport. Let's just put flags on them. Because that hit that Al Shazier did, I understand it's a bad hit. It looks terrible. But Trevor Lawrence slides at the very last moment. This dude's at full sprint going probably, 18 miles an hour? Dude, my ass has never even run 18 miles an hour, so I can't imagine what it's like trying to stop with that much momentum, being 240 pounds, running 18 miles an hour. I'm going to assume, though, it's pretty freaking hard.
Well, does this Texans defensive player, is this guy a repeat offender?
John Runyon says he is, but he says it's a style of play we've been seeing with you. I mean, he's a physical guy. He's that borderline type player, right? He's Vince Williams. He's a little cleaner than Ryan Clark.
Okay, because in my mind,
no, he's probably Ryan Clark level, not as dirty as Mike Mitchell. Okay, that's where I'd put him. But to be fair, he has not had a suspension from the NFL prior to this, and the NFL has never given out a 3-gamer for a hit like this. It's always been a 1-game.
And see, here's where I stand with the suspensions. Suspensions are reserved for one of two things: repeat offenders, and or malicious, or something in the play that you can identify as intentional or malicious. Right.
Like George Pickens taking a guy to the first row and trying to literally fight him like it's MMA.
It's really hard to police intent, but if there's something clear that shows me intent, the suspension gets dropped for that. Aside from those two things, I really think the suspension ought to be reserved. You can go ahead and fine them, quarter, a half game check, whatever. And that's only because of the outcome. Right, if Trevor Lawrence gets up and continues to play the game, this doesn't even. I don't think this.
It's a non-issue.
I don't think this lands this way it does. Yeah, exactly.
It's a non-issue because we've seen hits that are very close to that on bigger, more athletic guys. I've actually seen that hit happen twice this year where the quarterback's gotten taken out of the game, right, and it hasn't led to a suspension. So that's why I have a hard time with this. I know they're getting tired of seeing these type of hits, this type of stuff. But the fact of the matter is here, this play in particular is the one that makes me a little irritated because this is the one where the quarterback doesn't declare his slide until the tackler is already in the motion of tackling. And to me, Gingy, when the tackler starts the motion of tackling, with those shoulder pads are dropped, that head has come up like he's in the motion to hit, right? As soon as that happens, if you're not declared, I personally don't think it should be a penalty. I know you have to protect the players. I know there's a lot of really late ones. Dude, this is the one where if you watch the tape, he is in the motion of tackling before the quarterback goes down. Should not, in my opinion, even be a penalty.
Oof. Those hits that look violent like that are going to dry those flags regardless of should, would, wouldn't. But, just with the emphasis on player safety and all, and especially on the quarterback. They really want to keep those guys in there. That's,
if they're telling me they care about player safety, then the most dangerous play in football, the chop block, needs to be outlawed. It's that simple. If it's about player safety, there should be no chop blocks. It's not about player safety. It's about the money makers not getting hurt. Let's not play this player safety bullshit. It's the money makers not getting hurt.
That's a big part of it. Yeah.
And to be fair, Trevor Lawrence hasn't made Jacksonville any goddamn money this year. He's cost them a lot. So whether that's here or there, that's what it's about. It's about protecting the money makers, the big money wide receivers. Because you see hits like that happen on the running backs all the time, Gingy. Did you ever see even a flag thrown?
No, nobody's looking
running
for
backs
that.
aren't money makers, man. It's wide receivers and quarterbacks are the only two players that get this protection, and that's why this rule pisses me off. Because I hate the ability for refs to determine an outcome of a game arbitrarily by enforcing rules that are not football rules, they're player rules, right? If this player is this, then the rule is different. That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Honestly, my fandom for football has gone down a lot not even based on it becoming an offensive league because I prefer points, based on the fact that the refs have such a say in the outcome by doing a player by player, team by team. Am I going to call this or not? Jawan Taylor's a great example for Kansas City. He does the same thing every play. 1 week, he'll get called 6 times for a false start. The next week, it's perfectly fine the whole game. Like, these rules just need to be standards, they need to be enforced, and they need to be understandable. And to me as a fan, Gingy, make it understandable to me why a defensive player grabs a face mask, gets a 15-yard penalty, where if an offensive player grabs a face mask and turns the head, it doesn't get called. Make it make sense. Make it make sense for me.
It's not going to make sense for you, donkey. Again, you're talking about money guys.
Fandom, man.
You're talking about money guys, right? Well, the money isn't in 9 to 6 football games, donkey. You really want to get down to nuts and bolts about money. The money is in those 35 to 38 football games. Those what was it? A few years back, the Chiefs and the Rams in their prime.
No, dude, the goddamn worst football game
to 46,
where we have Patrick Mahomes
crazy.
versus Tom Brady, Chiefs Patriots, going back and forth, and the fucking deciding factor is a goddamn coin flip in overtime, man. Make it make sense. Yeah, just even there, that's a good example too. Make it make sense, man, where the greatest game I've watched of 2 juggernaut quarterbacks going head-to-head is decided by a goddamn flip of the coin.
I'm just saying that I think that's where I think those are the games that make the NFL money. More so than the Baltimore Ravens Steelers games, while they are, popular for the diehards, maybe, right? For the elitists, the 18-16 football games, the 16-13 football games. I don't think that your casual Sunday observer is picking that game over one of these high-flying offenses. You can
still have these rules sway big time to the offense and still make it make sense, though. That I hear what you're saying, but they don't have to.
Can you?
Yeah, you certainly can. It's really simple, dude.
Then you're going to have to get a bot out there calling it, because we're talking about the human element of refereeing again, and that exists in every place that doesn't have a bot calling balls and strikes.
I hear you on that, and I do fully agree that most penalties should be partially reviewable, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, they opened up both. That's on them. Let's go ahead. Let's transition into Pittsburgh versus Cleveland. Right. All right. Gingy, Madden's kind of sucking recently. They lost. They're only 6-6 Steelers games, but they think we're going to win this week, so hopefully they're right on that. But the history versus the Cleveland Browns, man, starting to look a little bleak recently, but 81-64-1 all time. At home, which is what matters this week, we're 51-22. We don't have to worry about the road record because, well, we're not there. When you talk about the largest win, it was the Browns 51-0. The Steelers was 43-0. The Browns was in 89. The Steelers was in 99. Longest streak, Pittsburgh had 12 straight from 03 to 09. Man, did Ben own Ohio. And Cleveland had 8 straight from 50 to 53. The current streak is the Clowns at 2, Gingy, with, of course, the most recent loss coming this year in the Jameis Winston game where Myles Garrett calls out everything related to the Watt family and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then, to his credit, Gingy, he put his damn money where his mouth was. Him, Jameis Winston throwing the ball, Jameis Winston doing little Saquon Barkley flips into the end zone or backwards hurdles, whatever the hell you want to call it. The moving points for them. But when you look at the Browns, objectively, they're still a bad team, right? Points scored, they're 29th in the league. Yards, they're 22nd. Passing yards, they're up to 13th. Rushing yards, they're 29th. Time of possession, they're actually positive side of the ball, 13th. Defensively, points are 26. Yards are 24th. That's broken down to 19th in pass, 23 in rush. They're only 13th in the league in sacks, and they only have 4 interceptions. So they're not a team that does a whole lot of things good. And if I was to sum up the Browns this season, the first one is Massage Watson sucks. The second one is Jameis Winston will set your franchise record for passing yards, throw for like 3 or 4 or 5 touchdowns, and you'll lose the damn game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what happened against Denver. And boy, did you see the game Jerry Jeudy had against his old team though? Holy hell,
Insane.
did he look like a stud in that game. And please God
Insane.
say it's not Joey Porter Jr. covering him this week.
Yeah, let's not. But what else are you gonna do, donkey? I still think that's your best shot.
Donta Jackson.
At least you're gonna.
Donta
What are you
Jackson?
gonna do? You're gonna let him. You're gonna let him run free. Donta Jack. I don't know. You don't. I'm surprised that you suggested that, donkey.
I'm looking at this. I'm looking at 200 yards or 100 yards, right? I'll take the 100 yards. With the potential of a turnover if it's Donta Jackson. So I'll take that. Because you know Jameis does like to throw the ball. As a matter of fact, I think he threw one to Donta Jackson last time we played.
Yes, so, I believe he did.
I'm gonna go ahead and take my chance on that side. But the Browns offense weirdly has really struggled running the ball. You could tell Chubb, man, I say this every time. When you look at a knee injury, whatever they say the timetable is to come back, right? You have to add 6 more months before that player's right, if that makes sense. So if they say he's back in 8 months, it's 14 before the player looks the same. And Nick Chubb isn't going to look the same till next year, if at all. And Ford is not the type of guy who's going to carry the load on a team. He could be a change of pace type of guy as a more physical runner. The running game here in Cleveland, Gingy, I'm not really nervous about, especially since Wills isn't back yet. So they have a Deefy, I believe, is at left tackle. He's a guy who played last time and kind of struggled with it. But maybe the matchup to talk about here is I'm not sure anyone has played TJ Watt better than Jack Conklin has the last couple of years, Gingy. He has really, really shut TJ Watt down.
Yeah, we need to get that pass rush going, and you can say whatever you want on the stats about the about Nick Chubb or whatever, but if I remember just a few weeks back, he put up 2 tuts.
He does put
on us.
Dude, he's still hard to stop in those 1-2 yards. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm going to be concerned until I can see a goose egg on the touchdowns for Mr. Chubb.
And we know the last time the Browns played, the last time the Steelers played, there were points galore for these teams last week. But the last time we played each other, points were at a pretty premium, so to say. And I think it's safe to say this week is going to be a lot more AFC North style of football, right? Both teams have at least a competent array of players on offense and defense, unlike last week when one team had 0 competent players on one side of the ball. So I really feel, Gingy, you're looking for a lot more individual matchups here. Where can you take advantage? Is George Pickens going to have his head on straight against Denzel Ward, or is Denzel Ward already won the matchup because Pickens he's been talking about him since their last matchup for 3 straight weeks. That dude's in is Denzel Ward in George Pickens' head?
Let's hope not, Donkey, but it seems pretty easy to get there nowadays, unfortunately. That is in George Pickens' head.
And the Browns, while Devin Bush has played okay, the other guy stepping into middle linebackers played okay. Really, the Browns have struggled stopping running backs and tight ends a little bit in the passing game since the injury to Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. There should be somewhere for the Steelers to exploit in the middle of that Browns defense, as their safeties are not exactly strong. With Owusu-Koramoah out, their linebacking core has struggled, especially in the middle. This looks like the type of game where Najee Harris, Jaylen Warren, Freiermuth, Washington really need to show up if the Steelers want to get that win. I'm feeling offensively. The middle's where you need to dominate. And we've already talked about when Najee shows up, this team wins. When he doesn't, they struggle. He struggled last time. The Browns front really seemed to have the Steelers front playing on roller skates, so to speak. We need to win this game right up the middle, right? Offensively, that's what we should be looking at, is right down the center of the field.
Yeah, you take a look at what burned us just a couple weeks ago, Myles Garrett, in a massive game. It made to make sure we need to shut him down on the front. You know, that's going to open up more time for Russ in the passing game. The whole thing was really shut down last time by Russ's inability to get any time. You know, he was scrambling, he was pushed. Our timing was disrupted all game by their defensive front. We need to do better on that.
and his highly inaccurate throwing in tight windows, those windows with defenders within 1 yard, within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage is where Russ Wilson has really struggled this year. And that's the throws we have to take advantage of. We didn't get to see it last week because there was no damn tight windows. I think there was 2 tight window throws under 10 yards the whole damn game last week. That's the way it went. When we played the Browns, I believe it was something like 20 pass plays in tight windows, of which we completed like 8. Tight window throws, that middle of the window or that middle of the field throw, is going to be vastly important this week, and we really need to see Russ take that final step in becoming that guy who just leads you, right? Because there's a chance for Russ to absolutely put this team on his back and continue the momentum from that Cincinnati game. There's nothing more dangerous than a quarterback who's feeling confident, Gingy. This is the week he gets to prove it, right? This is our final tune-up before we go out there and have the 3-game stretch where, Gingy, this is what I'm going to tell you. We win 2 of 3 in that deadly 3-game stretch. Philly, Kansas City, Baltimore, right? Although I don't think that's the proper order. I think it's Philly, Baltimore, Kansas City. We win 2 of 3, Gingy. I'm willing to go all in and commit to being engaged fully with this team, which is something I have not let myself do since the Browns playoff loss. I have not let myself get fully bought into a Steelers team. I am willing to do it if we win 2 of 3 in that window. And this final tune-up game, to me, really gives us an opportunity to work on the things against a lesser opponent, work on the things we'll need to do to be successful during that time frame.
You hear that, Donk Nation? You almost got him. Almost got
dude, 40
him.
points almost got me. I ain't gonna lie, dude. That was hype.
And you know what? His heart grew 3 sizes that day. That's what I heard, Gingy, Donkey.
You want to know what? The Pittsburgh Steelers won a game the way football games have to be won in modern NFL, and we haven't seen that since COVID, where the Steelers could win a game the way football is designed now. An offensive onslaught where your defense just sucks a little less than the other teams, but your offense takes advantage. I haven't seen that. That got me so close to being hyped where I'm like, man, 2 of 3 in that killer window, I'm all in. All frickin' in.
Let's go. That's what I like to hear. Let's see it this week. Good chance for redemption.
This is a tune-up game we have to have.
This is AFC North football in December, Donkey. I wouldn't call it a tune-up. This is
I just watched AFC.
Football.
I just watched AFC North football in December,
Hey, chill, bro.
There was a blatant lack of anything resembling defense. And what's funny is the 2 teams we're talking about right now, this game could be a shootout. Let's not lie. This could be a shootout. This could be a blowout. This could be a low-scoring game. I'm not even sure what to think right now, Gingy. I'm going to assume Browns Steelers, it's going to be a slobber knocker. It's going to be a damn field goal. And it's going to be, again, the Browns kicker's not as good as ours, right, type of deal. I don't know. Who knows? I don't even know what I'm picking this week because I'm going with my preseason predictions. But we'll see. We'll see. I have to go look that up real quick so I can figure out what I am going to pick. But, Gingy, any just general thoughts of the vibe of this game? Are the Steelers really going to, be in there? And did George Pickens do something dumb giving the Browns bulletin board material?
He did. I'm sure they're going to get in his head. But I think that the Steelers are going to be there. I think that Mike Tomlin is going to have the guys coached up. I think there's a certain level of anger about the last game. I think this is revenge time for the Brownies. And
I'm not going to lie, you killed my confidence a little bit when you said Mike Tomlin's going to have them coached up. Because every time he says we're prepped for a game, dude, it's a letdown. It's a freaking letdown. So you kind of just
I've already heard enough
dude,
from you. You got to have something good to say for this AFC North battle this week. And you see Mike
gone. Mojo's gone. I'm like Permian football when they came up a yard short in Friday Night Lights, the movie, right? There's no more mojo, dude. It's just it's on to tears and wiping, baby.
Oh man, come on, we gotta have more than that.
I had to make at least one toilet joke if we're talking about the Browns, right? Come on, tears and wiping. Let's go.
I hear you, Donkey, but I think that it is going to be true. I think it's a really unique situation to play this type of division opponent. Within what 3 times and twice in 3 weeks, something like
Twice
that.
in 3 weeks with an extended break.
So I think that that's going to matter. We just saw this, right? Neither one of these teams are entirely different at all from when they just saw each other. And I think that that's a pretty unique situation. And I think coaching is going to lend itself in that, right? Either good or bad. If that discourages you or encourages you, I think it's going to matter.
Well, I'm encouraged to get to some trash or cash. Cash or trash. I guess I could say it either way. Be a little different from everybody else. Let's get into cash or trash here. Let's start off with offense. Let's start off with George Pickens, and specifically, Myles Garrett really put his money where his mouth is. It's time for George Pickens to put his money where his mouth is. He does it. 120 yards, 2 touchdowns versus the Browns. It shows Denzel Ward what's what, Gingy. You want to cash or trash?
Ooh, 120?
Mm-hmm. Dude, he's gonna talk smack like that, dude. It's gotta be a game, bro.
120.
It's gotta be a game, bro.
Trash. I can't do 120. That's too much.
You can do 2 touchdowns? That's what I thought the bigger stretch was. We have like 12 all year.
I can do I can do 2 touchdowns. I really can. I can get down with that, but I don't think I can see 120. That's a lot.
We've talked about what the
Russell likes the spreading around the ball, man.
Russ likes to throw to his first read or the check down, all right? It's really easy though when your first read's always open. I love that game. That was fun. Let's go to number 2 here. Najee Harris makes this offense run is what we've determined here on Donk Nation Sports Talk, Steelers Talk, fun stuff. Over 4 yards of carry this week for Najee. I'm not going to say any total yards, anything else. 4 yards of carry for Najee. Cash trash.
Cash it in. Let's see back to back. I want to continue to see consistency from Najee Harris. Big games in December when it matters. Let's go. This is when you need your running back, right? And that doesn't excuse any prior performances. But if he came through now, it would go a long way.
It certainly would. Okay, cool. I know how I can talk about this game because I predict the Steelers to win. So that's going to make my final talk a little easier and give away my thoughts here. But, Gingy, Jaylen Warren, kind of forgotten, man, breaks 100 scrimmage yards and a touchdown this week, cash or trash.
100 scrimmage touchdown. That sounds fun. Trash.
All right. Why you gotta rain on my parade like that?
That sure sounds fun, though.
You're Steelers fans. You had fun last week. Never again.
Yeah, that sounds like
back in the hole.
Back down to under 350.
2 pass plays the whole game because we had too much fun last week throwing the ball everywhere. Back in the hole with the passing offense. All right, let's go to what are we on? 4. Number 4 here. Dan Moore Jr. turns back the clock to where he sucks versus everyone but Myles Garrett, and he shuts out Myles Garrett for no sacks. Cash or trash?
Cash, baby. That's what's happening this time. He's going to be locked down. I don't know. You want to talk about a guy who's doing some trash talking. He better back it up, too, if we're talking about George Pickens like that, right? Because he had a fair bit to say about, his valor and
I think he already backed up his trash talk, though, to be fair. Let's go on to the last one for the offense here. Russ has played kind of turnover-prone football recently. This week he gets back to the clean sheet football. No turnovers for the Steelers quarterback. Cash or trash?
Clean sheet football.
I should say specifically Russell Wilson, because if we see a Justin Fields package and he fumbles, that's not on Russ. Just clarification.
Cash it.
All right, fair enough. Last thoughts here on the offense, Gingy.
Oh, boy. Back to this again. I am a Najee. This is a Najee centrist offense, right? So we're talking 4 yards of carry. Man, I'd like to see that 100 yards from Jaylen
is
Warren.
the magic number. Just
but I still think Russ is going to be moving it in the air. I'd like to see a back-to-back touchdown performance from Pat Freiermuth, one of the guys that I didn't hear come up in Cash or Trash. Hope to see him be a continued part of the offense this week.
Yeah, I was determining if I wanted Jaylen Warren as the effective player in the middle or the tight ends. This week we went with the running backs.
Hear, hear.
Fair to catch that, though. Really, I like that. Gingy's on top of things here. Gingy, I'm going to break this down to 2 points. Really simple, right? The offense is going to go back to a slow, sluggish start. It's going to score somewhere in the middle teens in points. But I'm going to tell you a secret. Najee Harris is going to have exactly 3.5 yards a carry. And, well, we all know what that means for the Steelers. So, Gingy, you want to cash that, trash that, or half it? You should just trash the whole thing with the way you're talking.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was going to. I don't feel that way. Trash.
Gingy's like, more points and more yards for Najee.
Yeah. Tell me more. Yeah.
Right, let's cash or trash the defense. Let's start with TJ Watt's going against his nemesis, it seems, in Jack Conklin. But this time, TJ Watt wins to the tune of just at least 1 sack.
At least 1 cash.
Fair enough. Hey, he actually hit our 2-sack total last week, so woohoo!
Yeah.
Let's go.
We were locked in on that cash or trash last week, if my memory serves me.
Joey Porter Jr. is about to get like a 3-part cash or trash and a 1-part take. 1, Joey Porter Jr. will once again match up against the number 1 receiver. So here you go, Jerry Jeudy. 2, He will hold Jerry Jeudy under 60 receiving yards. 3, he will stop freaking grabbing people and will not have a penalty. Cash or trash?
Nope. Cash, trash. I still think we're going to see at least 1 penalty from Joey Porter Jr. That's how he plays. But I think he's going to start being able to get away with it sooner rather than later. And listen, you can call that shady all you want, but I feel like that's
LaShawn McCoy, baby.
I think that's how the greats do it. You know, they're able to get away with those certain little things that give them that advantage. Remember how AB, I know that's an offensive guy, but AB used to be so great at that, not getting offensive pass interference.
Richard Sherman is the guy you want to name. If you want to name a freaking cornerback who always got away with holding, it's Richard Sherman.
The little bump. They just learn when they can, when they can't, how to use it to their advantage, and I think JPJ is going to be one of those guys before it's all said and done.
I really don't, just because he's not fluid, man. He's so... His motions are so like abrupt and noticeable. You have to be like fluid and just, and I don't think that's something you learn. That's why I think it was a problem for him in college all the way through the pros. But let's keep going on here. Highsmith allegedly is going to be back. We might see a 3 outside linebacker package according to them. Do you think the outside linebackers will account for 3 or more sacks this week? Cash or trash?
Cash it in. I think we got quite a few good ones now, Donkey.
And you can throw Preston Smith in with the outside linebackers if you want to. I'm okay with that.
Okay, definitely add me onto that. What a squad, right? Herbig, Watt, Highsmith back.
He's allegedly the big money guy's back. Well, second, is he? Can we, with his contract, he's like big money in terms of overall things, but he's like little money on the defense. So can we even call him a big money player?
Yeah, I think we can.
Okay. Anyway, back to cash or trash outside linebackers.
Cash it. 3 or more, cash it.
We've seen some very Jekyll and Hyde play from our 3 big offseason additions. Donta Jackson getting smoked, catching interceptions. Patrick Queen's having 7 straight bad games to have 3 straight good games to have 2 more bad games, right? And Deshaun Elliott had like 9 straight really good games and then 3 really bad ones. This week, those 3 guys, specifically the 3 off-season acquisitions, are going to play an important role in this game. They're not going to allow the running game to get out of hand. That's Elliott, Queen more so. They're going to shut down the number 2 wide receiver. That, again, is Elliott and Jackson. And between the 3 of them, they're going to be a part not necessarily get it, but either tipping the ball, knocking the ball out. They're going to be the part of 2 turnovers this week. Do you want to cash or trash that?
Ooh. It's a lot, Donkey. I have to summarize that all for a second. 2 turnovers. Who?
Mm-hmm.
Queen and Elliott?
Between Queen, Elliott, and Jackson.
Queen, Elliott, Jackson, 2 turnovers. Gonna have to trash that in.
Trash that in. All
Trash that in.
It's when that's when your trash is a little too stinky and you bring it in so the bears don't eat it. All right, I can.
Well, that is some. I don't know. You're right. That is some stinky trash, Donkey. Because I'd love to say that is true, but I don't know if Elliott and Queen are turnover guys, man. They just
Queen forces some fumbles.
Fumbled. Yeah, he did versus the Ravens.
He can tip it and go to someone else.
Still,
there's lots of
it's a stretch.
That's fair.
Take it out. Take it away for this. Take it away so the Bears don't get it.
All right, Gigi. The Steelers are going to shut down the Browns passing game and hold Jameis Winston under 250 yards, cash or trash.
Ooh. Shut it down.
I said the Bears. I meant the Browns.
Yeah, you got talking about stinky trash and Bears. Got y'all turned around. Okay, give me a second. I'm trying to make sure that I pick appropriately here that will fit the outcome of the game that I see. Trash that. I don't even think I can half that, right? I don't know if they're shut down. What does shut down mean in terms of points?
Under 250 yards.
No, trash.
All right, fair enough.
I don't think there's points that come from it. I don't think there's
last one, Gingy. Anyone who follows us doesn't need to know, but maybe you'll explain it for them. The proverbial question's coming because it hasn't been answered.
Why? I gave him a chance last week, Donkey. I gave him a chance. I cashed it in. But to be fair, a lot of there is no fairness. Trash.
To be fair, Minka Fitzpatrick has sucked this year and has not caused a turnover. Gingy does not believe it's coming this week. Gingy, final take on the defense.
Defense has got to lock in. No more rushing touchdowns. Shut down their current weapon, Jared Jeudy, and get Winston under pressure. The outside linebackers, 3 sacks, Donkey. Why can't we make it 4 or 5?
I don't know.
That's what I'd like to see. That's my defensive take. And
but,
for goodness sake,
3 sacks with 2 fumbles forced that were lost was pretty nice last week.
I like that quite a bit. But for goodness sake, Joey Porter Jr., can you please have a comeback game so we can have Donkey stop riding you so hard? Oh, my God. You're not that bad.
You better not pout. That's all I got to say. You better not pout.
Goodness gracious. Poor Joey. I hope he doesn't hear this, Donkey. His confidence will be shot.
I hope he does, dude, because whenever I call people the hell out, they go and have a freaking game. So Patrick Queen's about to get on the freaking bandwagon to get called out again. The only exception here is freaking Minka Fitzpatrick doesn't understand the damn program, dude. What the hell is wrong with him? Learn the program.
Working. It's not working.
Maybe we have to be nice to him. If he sucks again this week, Gingy, I'm gonna be so nice to him next week. You don't even know, dude. I'm gonna be the nicest I have ever been to a Pittsburgh Steeler player next week to Minka Fitzpatrick.
Something's got to work, right?
My Kenny Pickett level of fandom and defense is coming out for Minka. Okay, that's what's gonna happen. Anyway, for the final cash or trash part here on the defensive take, Gingy, I don't think the Browns can run the ball effectively. I just don't think they can with the way their offensive line is. I think they throw for 249 yards, and I think they score not even in the teens. That's what I'll say about it. That's what I see happening this week. You want to cash or trash that?
249.
I said Jameis was going to have under 250.
Yeah, I think I
right up to the
trashed that. So, gonna have to at least half that there. I think that they are. I think they're gonna bring it into the teens. I think we're gonna take away the rushing touchdowns. I still think Jameis is gonna have, his gunslinger mentality, but not enough to get them out of the teens.
All right, that's fair. Gingy, Any last thoughts before we go ahead into the picks for this week?
Oh, boy. No, I think that was pretty extensive cash or trash. I think I just about covered it. Oh, how about this one, Donkey? Watch for your special teams to come back. We missed them last week. Watch out.
Oh, that's fair. So let's start with Laskers. Laskers, he likes the Bengals beat. Why the hell do I not know who they're playing this week? So anyway, we have the Baltimore Ravens on bye week this week, so we don't have to worry about picking them, right? The Bengals are the Monday night game, right? Yeah, they're playing at Dallas. Gingy, who'd you like in that one?
Give me the Bengals.
Dude, I have to take Cincy as well, just simply because
Dallas.
Did you hear?
Dallas.
Oh my gosh, Jimmy Johnson! Did you hear him last week before the Thanksgiving game for Dallas? He goes, "I see the Cowboys going," and it was before the game. Win, 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 and then lose because they just want to give their fans false hope. And bro, I was freaking rolling. I was
rude.
Like, damn, Jimmy, slaughter him.
Super rude.
I also like the Bengals beating the Cowboys just because I don't know if the Cowboys with those backups, man, if they can score as many points as say what you want, Cincy's defense is terrible, but damn, can they score some points? So we got the Steelers hosting the Cleveland Browns. I'll go ahead and give my pick first. I think the Steelers win this one 17-12. I think your X factor is going to be none other than Chris Boswell as he makes another 50-yard field goal because, well, that's what Boswell does. And I feel late in the game, the Browns have only 6 points. They score a touchdown, go for 2 to tie it because we're up 14-12. They miss it. Boswell kicks a 50-yard touchdown or 50-yard field goal with, let's say, a minute 30 to go. And the Browns just can't get it down into the end zone, Gingy. Laskers likes the Steelers winning with an X Factor, Joey Porter Jr., 24-18. Gingy, are we going to continue the black and gold spree? Of course we are. You even picked against the Steelers in. Dude, when was the last time you picked? The freaking Browns playoff game, I think, is the last time you picked against the Steelers.
Might have been. It might have been.
Because I remember I was the only butthead that was rooting for the Steelers. Or we're not rooting. We all were rooting. The only butthead who picked them, I should say.
I learned my lesson. Got to stay on board. I'm almost on board with Laskers this week. I'm looking at 24-16.
No, you
it will still be a 1-score game, right? Still allow that potential at the end. The Steelers aren't going to actually, I don't think, finish off this opponent maybe as they should. But
the Steelers finish off a lesser opponent. You're funny.
Yeah, I know, right? That's yeah. So, but I think our X factor this week is going to be Pat Freiermuth. I think tight end play going to be very important. And yeah, that's my pick.
Yeah, that's fair. Do you have a shout out from last week's game, Gingy?
I have two, and I know let's
go.
It's cliche, right? But because they were spoken about in the show last week, I think I asked for a big game from T.J. Watt. Shout out T.J. Watt coming back to us, right? 2 sacks, forced fumble, difference maker. Pretty close to all world that game, my opinion. That matters. And yeah, shout out there. And I have to shout out a 400-yard passer. Russell
I'm glad
Wilson.
Russ got mentioned because I feel really bad that Russ isn't my pick for this week. So I'm glad you said Russ.
400-yard passer.
40 points on offense. Well, not all on offense, but 40 points.
40 points. Oh my! It feels good. It feels good to have a legitimate threat on the offensive side of the ball. And I know that we bag on the deep. They've carried us so many years, man. And now we have an offensive unit that is formidable due to one Russell Wilson. Beautiful. Shout out.
Definitely has been to this point, minus the Browns game. Yeah, so no doubt about it there. I love first. And my shout out, of course, has to be Peyton Wilson finding the end zone, Genji. Oh, what a steal he has turned out to be. And oh, what joy was it to see baby Herbig off the edge, smacking that football. It just kind of rumbling and stumbling for 5-ish seconds, right into the waiting hands of Peyton Wilson for a touchdown. Oh, yeah. Defensive touchdowns on a game where there was none. Gotta love it.
Beautiful.
Really
I like it.
Really
Donkey.
weird that you see two defenses both give up 30 points, but both score a touchdown. That's kind of something, I guess. But I guess it's time to let you know I'm the Viking Donkey. That's Viking_Donkey at Twitch or Twitter. Your Daily Dose Donkey of Ginger is a fun YouTube channel where you get this content. Make sure you check out the Bug Cap. I know it's a little late this week. Bug Boo was sick, so we couldn't really do it when he's here going everywhere. But leave us a like, comment, follow. Let us know what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy. We're glad to hear from you. Give us your opinions. We'll put them in the show if you leave them in the comment section. And let us know what we do well and what we're terrible at. Because, hey, all feedback's good feedback. Gingy, send it out.
Mutant Gingy in the house. We hanging out. We talking football. Oh, my gosh. These AFC North battles. I can't get unwound from all this hyper-intense football, slobber-knocker football revenge game, folks. Let's get one back on these brownies. Donk Nation, Steeler Nation, wave them if you got them. Here we go, Steelers.